So let's get into this. I feel like I am totally out of sync with TikTok Live, so we need to get back in. Okay. So from a relationship expert and a sexologist point of view, if you want to have an incredible relationship, if you want to have an incredible schmex life, trust is sort of at the front hold. I know there's emotional safety. There's a lot of other things that play into it, but trust is really, really important. There is a caveat though. You can deeply love somebody and not fully trust them. That is possible. But I just want to make sure that we are aware that if you don't have trust in a relationship, the capacity for longevity. Lenny, how are you? Welcome, Lenny. Thank you for the shares. Everybody get your heart me's in. Trust is that invisible thread that holds kind of the relationship together. And I think a thread is a really great way to describe it because it is fragile. And Nyla, thank you very much for the heart me. And when broken, depending on how big the breach is, Stooks, if you have the skills and you have the support, good evening, Oma. Trust can 100% can be rebuilt, 100%. But there has to be two willing parties. There has to be two parties that have the same goal. And if one is reluctant, if one doesn't want to put in the work, if one isn't able to forgive or willing to forgive or understand forgiveness and how it works, if one doesn't come with grace, there's a lot of different factors in it. But basically, if you want it, it can be done. Please heart me and share, tap, tap, tap. Thank you, Maggie. It takes time to build, seconds to break, and depending on the breach, sometimes years to repair. Thank you for the little cheering crab, Shannon. That's very timely. Very timely. Thank you. And I think that here's a question for you. So if you are in a relationship and trust has been broken, what are you feeling in your body? Like what comes up for you? I know for me, it feels like, or it has felt like there's a pit in the stomach. And it feels awful. Anybody want to share? Thanks, Jules, for the heart me. Stooks, yeah, that wouldn't go over well with Piper for sure. Thank you, Nicole, for the follow. I appreciate it. I'm about to get counseling for PTSD around physical intimacy. Any advice? Lenny, I have you know, Lenny, that I'm always here for you, and I'm very excited for you that you've taken this step. So congratulations, win Lenny in the chat. That takes courage, and that takes it's a big step. I support you, and I'm 100% behind you. I did counseling for PTSD too, and if you get a good one, it's super helpful. And I just think that you go in there with an open mind, you go in there with a willing heart, and you go to learn. You go to learn about yourself. You go to learn to enhance your skills, your coping skills, your communication skills, all of it. I never catch your lives anymore. I'm glad. Oh, yay, Jules, I'm glad you're here. Marissa, thank you for the butterfly dances. Anxiety and the pit is awful. Agree with you, Maggie. Thank you for the beautiful little wings, for the butterfly dances. So we've got a pit in the stomach from me and Maggie, and we've got anxiety. Anybody else? Nervous feeling. That's a good one, Stooks. Yeah, and like, explain to me more, because I want deeper. So you get a nervous feeling, like what are you nervous about? Like what? I want to explore that a little bit deeper. Sadness. Anxiety, is that what that nervous feeling is for you, Stooks? Hand sweats. Okay, that's, yep. So basically, it's a feeling of discomfort, right? And it's a state of, you turn cold, And by that, you don't mean temperature wise. Do you mean like personality, like your willingness to connect kind of shuts off? It's a defense mechanism, right? You go from thriving to surviving. Very, very sad, physical or emotional. Like it impacts you both ways, Stooks, for sure. I disassociate. Can relate to that. I can relate to that. So let's talk about, now we know, or we all understand. It is kind of like it's a feeling that we all experience, right? Thank you, honey, for the butterfly dances. I appreciate that. It's a feeling that we've all experienced. So it's a very relatable experience, which sweating and dryness in mouth, physical shaking. Yeah. And so it's very, it happens like it's as a physiological feeling, which means we feel it within the depths of our soul, right? So let's talk about how to get it back and what actually it is. I'll DM you. I don't want to. 100%, Laura, here for you. So I will check my DMs for sure. Does anyone have a definition of trust that they would want to share? Supreme NPC, thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate that. If you have not shared the live, if you have not tapped, if you have not given me a heart me or graciously gifted me a heart me, thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Shannon. For the hand heart. I would very much appreciate that. It pushes us out. And I think that this topic is, and I think I say this a lot, right? Thank you, Maggie, so much for the butterfly dances. I always say, like, I wish more people would, thank you, Jules, for the butterfly dances, would see these lives, because I think that these skills and these topics are so incredibly important to talk about. Doing the honey-do list. You stumped me, Stooks. Oh, is that what trust looks like to you? Like, or are you writing this down? Is that what you're saying? I don't know what you're saying to me, Stooks. Thank you, Stacy, for sharing the live. What does trust mean to you? I wrote out my definition, and I will share it after, but tell me what trust means to you. Thank you so much, Stacy. What is the sign in the back? What are you a master in? Oh, this says clinical sexology and a relationship expert, or a relationship specialist. So I went to school I was an educator first, and then protection. Love it, Leah. I was an educator first, and then I taught human schmexuality. Have to say it like that, or else I get booted. And then I went back to school to get my clinical sexology certification. And so with that comes a lot of education in the relationship realm, as does the human sexuality realm. Solomon, thank you for the follow. I love that name. Ziomara, thank you for the butterfly dances. That's funny. It kind of is a cool title. I love my job because I get to make an impact on people's relationships. I get to help keep families together, and that's very important to me. So I know it's a funny title, but I take my job very seriously, and I'm very passionate about it because I think that connection is the reason that we're here, and building family and building community is what makes life worth living in my life. In my world, in my mind. I see. So can you fix me? Depending what your issue is, I more than likely might be able to trust being able to fully open and honest with someone without having repercussions. I love that, Lenny. That's awesome. Shannon, yes, feel safe. Safety is awesome. Trust is you'll get XYZ done. So Stooks, what you're saying to me, what I'm hearing is that when you say something, or when you tell somebody you're going to do it, you do it. Follow through, right? Is that what you're saying? Which I 100% am in agreement with. Tara, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you, honey, for the butterfly dances. Thank you for the pumpkins, Ziomara. Hi, thank you for the follow. Okay, yeah, 100% Stooks. Because when you are building trust and someone says that they're going to do something and then they don't end up doing it, that's a breach in trust because you made a commitment to do something and then you did not follow through. So you are not helping yourself if you are trying to build trust and you commit to something and then you don't do it. Hi, thank you so much for the roses. Thank you, honey, for that block. Oh, Maggie, thank you. Okay. So, anyone want to hear my version of trust? I have, I'll be like super vulnerable, which I used to supremely suck at. I always have had issues with trust, still have issues with trust. So it's not like I am this relationship expert who has all the answers and who is like amazing at everything. I'm not. I suck at trust. I don't trust very easily at all. So it's a daily choice that I make, and it's a daily awareness that I have, that it is something that I need to continue to work on because it is of great importance in a relationship and every relationship, whether you are speaking of children, whether you are speaking about boss, co-workers, family, your partner, whatever. It's incredibly important for the longevity and the health of that relationship. Okay, I need to stop talking and do this quickly. Okay, so trust, in my opinion, and I'm just saying in my opinion because you might have a very different definition or you might completely disagree with me, and that's just fine. But trust, Mama, how are you, Crystal Cat? I hope that you're having a good day today. I'm sending you all my love today and big snuggles. So I hope that today's a good day for you. Let us do this. Thank you for the heart me. I appreciate that. So trust, IMO, in my opinion, is, I wrote it out, confidence in someone's reliability, integrity, and emotional consistency. It's the assurance that your partner's words and actions actually align and that they have your best interests at heart. So essentially, when you go into a relationship, and I'm going to specifically speak about your partner, but this is anybody, like you trust them with a certain aspect of you. Whether that be, I guess you could do that with anybody, like a coworker, a child, a parent, a partner, whomever. You trust them with a certain aspect of you. And they have, when you give them that part of that, a piece of vulnerability, you're trusting that they are going to take really good care of it. And that's really hard for a lot of people, me included. But it's something that when you learn to do and are able to do, and learn the skills to do it, it's very freeing and it allows you to move to a different level in the relationship. And that is, it's a gift. It's a gift to the relationship. It's a gift to yourself. Let's do these little trick-or-treaters. Since we won't have these for very long. Let's do it. Okay. Thank you for the follow, Grandma Kathy. I'm a grandma too, Kathy. Love it. Maggie, thank you for that little trick-or-treat bag. I trust myself to believe people when they show me who they are. I love that, Jimmy, because that is a really great skill in that a lot of people aren't good at that because they see red flags coming out of every single solitary pore. Mama Cat, thank you for that, the little trick-or-treat, and thank you for that another little trick-or-treat. Oh my goodness. Win Crystal Cat in the chat. Thank you, Crystal Cat. Appreciate that so much. So, when you have that intuition that someone is showing you who they really are, and you're like, okay, I see, and I thank you, honey, for the trick or treats. I'm taking that knowledge and I'm going to use it to protect myself, to like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all of the above. It's useful information. So you either brush it under the rug, hey Tej, or you use it as information, important information going onward. There are, in my opinion, 5 elements of trust, 5 key elements. Thank you for the heart, me, Tej. 5 key elements of trust. Number 1, kind of mentioned it in my definition, is reliability. You do what you say you're going to do. You do what you say you're going to do. So important, so underrated, so impactful in a relationship. And this is one thing with myself growing up that damaged my sense of like trust is that Shannon, thank you for the little trick or treat. My dad always said, "Oh, I'll see you on the weekend." Or Leon, thank you for the follow. Or is it Lion? Thank you for the follow. I'll see you on Saturday, or I'll pick you up. And sometimes he didn't show up and didn't follow through. And so I just learned not to trust what people said. And so it's taken 400 years for me to figure out that, people, when they say something, actually do have the choice whether to follow through. Why is it so hard for people to follow through? I think, Maggie, that's a really great question. I think we allow ego to get involved. I think we allow our defense mechanisms that we bring to the table to get in the way. I think that if we are the ones that have breached the trust and it makes us feel uncomfortable, oh my gosh, I hurt my loved one, or I hurt whomever it is that I hurt, you want to speed it up because it's an uncomfortable feeling. And what I think people don't do enough is sit in their discomfort and sit in their feelings and learn from it and become more aware of what those messages or those feelings are telling them. Yeah, that was a really shitty thing that I did. And I take full accountability for it. I understand that it's going to take a long time, and I am not the ruler of that long time. It could be 2 days, it could be 2 weeks, could be 2 months, could be 2 years. But I'm going to do my darndest to get it back. So I need to put my ego aside, and ego is just a false sense of self. So if we are feeling uncomfortable or we are feeling a bit insecure, the door is wide open for ego to come in and take over. And it does when we allow it to. We allow fear to ride our ships. We allow fear to make our decisions. And it gets us into a whole big pile of turd that we don't want to be in. Teach, thank you for the populars. So, and I also think that when we are speaking of ego, it's like, okay, well, some of us have been taught that like sucking up 2 weeks, sucking up, like I'm not gonna like, I've been doing what I need to be doing. I've been doing what I need to be doing in order to gain their trust back. I think it's been long enough. Like they make the decision because they're tired of feeling this discomfort. Monique, nice to see you. Hawaii was amazing. Amazing. Like I haven't been to Oahu since I was a tiny girl. Because I've been to Maui the last couple times that I've gone. But it's been like 12 years since I've gone. But it was so fantastic. Thank you for asking. Our lives are spent escaping pain and pursuing pleasure every second. I 100% agree with you, Jimmy. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with pursuing pleasure at all. But escaping the pain, like that's where the growth is. That's where we have the opportunity to learn so much about ourselves, about each other, about navigating life. And so when we shut those doors off and when we allow ego to come in and drive the ship, I just think it's such it's too bad. And we have all these things now to numb pain. And it's also another unfortunate thing because, again, pain is, it's a message. And when we don't listen, thank you, Mama Cat, for the super populars. How come it says super populars now? Did they rename it? Oh, Maggie, thank you. Maggie. What would I do without you, Maggie? Oh, we already did our trick-or-treats? Wow, thank you, everybody. How cool is that? So I think that if like feeling the pain and learning from it and if feeling vulnerable and sitting in it was more acceptable, I think that this society would be a much different place. And so if you ever are feeling uncomfortable, like just sit in it for a moment. Just sit in it and try and figure out what like that uncomfortable moment is trying to teach you. because there's so much wisdom that can come from that, and so much growth. And I think it's like, it doesn't feel good, but neither does the the pursuit of pleasure that, like, you're never satisfied. That doesn't feel good either. You're always chasing something that you can never get. So I don't know. There's a nice balance of both somewhere. Thank you for that autumn leaves, Teej. Thank you for that bouquet, Maggie. That was so beautiful. Thank you, Maggie, for the autumn leaves. Okay, so far we have reliability as my 5. One of my 5. The next one is honesty. That's kind of a no, really. You tell the truth even when it's uncomfortable. Thank you, honey, for the autumn leaves. Appreciate that. That's something that I really miss in Arizona. My sister, every autumn, she lives in Canada, and she sends me videos of her walking in the river valley, and she sends me the changing leaves. So I get my autumn fix through my sister. So reliability, honesty, transparency. Transparency is different than honesty. Transparency means you don't hide or manipulate information. Monique, thank you for the heart me. So honesty is telling the truth. Transparency means you do not hide or manipulate information. So that's 3. Reliability, honesty, transparency. Number 4 is what Stooks talked about, and that's consistency. You show up predictably over time. And here's the thing about relationships nowadays and dating nowadays. Like, everybody likes spontaneous schmacks. Everybody likes the spontaneity of dates and surprises. And I 100% am behind that. But I also, thank you for the follow. But I also want to reiterate, for the longevity, the health, the ability for a relationship to thrive, you also need that sense of patterned behavior, because that is how trust is built. When you show up, and I just don't mean physically, I mean you freaking show up mentally, emotionally, vulnerably, predictably, over time, that is how trust is built. And the last one, which always tends to be a little bit more controversial, and I don't know if that's the right word, but it always tends to stir the pot when I'm talking to my clients, because generally speaking, one of the partners has a different definition of what this means than the other partner. You show up without treading on boundaries. Yes, we are totally going to talk about boundaries for sure, Shannon. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, boundaries are super important. Without boundaries, a relationship's not going to thrive at all. So the last one, drum roll, emotional safety. Now, when I say safety in any type of one-on-one coaching or any type of live, a lot of people go, oh, "What do you mean? I'm not going to cause any danger. I won't hurt my partner physically." And we're not talking about physical safety here at all, although that is very important as well. But I'm not talking about that. My school had a cool booklet on relationships I got this week. That's awesome, Lily. I'd love to have a summary of it. Maybe you could DM me, Lily. Emotional safety. Your partner can be vulnerable without fear of judgment or betrayal. Emotional safety. Emotional safety is needed for a lot of women to be able to jump between the sheets with their partner. That's that schmexual response cycle. Emotional safety is very much needed, so vulnerability can be invited to the table. Pedro, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. So without emotional safety, you are going to struggle building trust. Okay, what trust is not? I always like to be the devil's advocate and put on the table what something is, and then very much say what something is not. Bee Boop, thank you for the follow. So what trust isn't? Here we go. Hey, Paul. Blind faith, that's not trust. Or ignoring red flags. Red flags are really important, and when you don't address them, when you don't pay attention to them, you are going to cause yourself problems in the future. Thank you for the follow, Paul. Don't ignore red flags. If something is of concern to you, bring it up. This is not a game. Maggie, thank you for the autumn leaves. I appreciate that. Trust is also not controlling somebody. It's not surveillance. It's not stalking. It's not forced transparency. It's not looking through phones. That is not trust. That's control. It is not earned through guilt or punishment. And it is not instant. It is a pattern, not a promise. I will repeat. It is a pattern, not a promise. And trust can be broken in so many different ways. Like, I could be here forever and a day if I had a list of how trust could be broken. It's not only by, thank you, Ziamara, pattern, not a promise. I like that. Oh, good. I'm glad. Take it as yours. Not only by betrayal or cheating, it's like lying, withholding information, dismissing your partner's emotions, making promises you don't keep, breaking a confidentiality, failing to take responsibility after a conflict. That is a huge one that I talk about when I'm talking about conflict resolution in with my families or with my couples. If someone is stuck in ego, or if they are stuck in I need to be right, I need to be right, I need to be right, which is going to cause destruction in your relationship. But if there is no willingness to be accountable for what you bring to the table, and everybody brings something to the table, like nobody is scot-free. Everybody has their flaws. Everybody has their patterns of behavior that no longer serve the relationship. Lying, 100%. 100% lying. We do not condone lying, right? Right, Stooks? Failing to take responsibility or any accountability in your behavior, if it is causing any type of issue with your partner, breaks trust. And why? The nervous system goes into a self-protection mode. So emotional distance, suspicion, hypervigilance become your survival tools. And that puts us at a state of dis-ease. And your body does not like to be at a state of dis-ease. It likes to be in a place of like harmony. And it, even to a cellular level, your body functions so much better, optimally, in fact, when it is not worried about emotional distance, suspicion, hypervigilance, when it's not in fight or flight mode. What about emotional safety for men in a relationship? It is just as important as emotional safety for women. It's just that during the schmexual response cycle, Lenny, women need a certain level of it for them to continue on and arousal and desire. Mama Cat, thank you very much for the autumn leaves. Those are so pretty. Just as important. It's not more important for one of the. Thank you very much for the autumn leaves. Those are so pretty. Just as important. It's not more important for one or the other. Sorry. Win Mama Cat in the chat for sure. Thank you, Maggie. When you go into win Mama Cat in the chat for sure. Thank you, Maggie. When you go into call her back, please. I don't know if you heard me. Thank you, Monique. Appreciate that. Thank you, Parody. So when we are in that, when we are talking about emotional safety for men and women, we both need it, or else your relationship really isn't going anywhere. I mean, it can get to a certain level, but you need emotional safety for walls to be let down, for the level of intimacy to develop and for it to increase, if that makes sense. So no barking please, it's raining, the dogs don't like that. Rebuilding trust, let's talk about rebuilding trust. Does anyone know what their first step would be when a rupture has occurred, when trust has been broken? What do you do? Patricia, welcome. What do you do when someone has broken your trust? Thank you, Mama, for the likes. I appreciate that. Hey, Andre, communicate. Love it, parody. That word's always going to be in probably 99% of any answer that I give as a relationship specialist and a clinical sexologist. Communication, if you don't have it, you really don't have anything. So Win Parody in the chat, thank you for saying that, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper in that, a little bit more specific, in that you need to acknowledge the rupture, right? You don't just walk on eggshells. You don't pretend nothing happened. You actually face it, and you take full ownership without minimizing or deflecting or saying, oh, that wasn't my intention. A lot of times we say, oh, it wasn't my intention to hurt you. That really doesn't need to be said, because as my partner, I would hope that it would not be your intention to hurt me. Cuss them out, Stokes. That is a very common response. Actually, that would be a very common reaction, because there's a difference between reaction and response. So if you are going to react, 100% that's what you're going to do. You're going to go off. You're going to go balls to the walls, and you are going to make the situation bigger than it presently is. So that's a reaction. I really don't like a blanket. I'm sorry. Like, what are you sorry for? Okay, let's how to actually say an apology is really, really important too. Like, I'm sorry, in my world means nothing. So I 100% agree with you, Monique. I'm sorry needs to be accompanied by, for what? What are you apologizing for? What are you taking accountability for? And changed behavior. Marcello, thank you for the follow. Why do some people avoid it? Because it's an uncomfortable feeling to know that you screwed up and that you hurt somebody that you loved. That's very uncomfortable. And so some people try to put it out of their mind, dismiss it, say, oh, it can't be that bad. And it's hard for them to address, because they feel disappointment in themselves. Disappointment is a hard feeling to digest when you know you've disappointed somebody that you really, really love, right? Getting called for dinner. Enjoyed my time here. Thank you, Shannon, for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. Hope to see you again soon. Lay, thank you for the follow. I also am Canadian, so welcome, my fellow Canadian. Maggie, thank you for the autumn leaves. So we need to take full ownership without minimizing or deflecting. And here's a great example of that. Are you ready? I understand that what I did hurt you and broke your trust. That's a good start. We have acknowledged the rupture, right? Number 2, we need to validate the impact, because we have made an impact. We've screwed up. We've broken somebody's trust. Possible if they have apologized for the same thing before and got overly punished for it. I'm not sure what we're talking about. So validating somebody's, what they're going through because of what we have done is really, really important, because it acknowledges how your partner is feeling. And we're not in it to rush them. We're not saying a lot of times we like to rush because it is an uncomfortable feeling and we want things back to normal. And that does not help the process, because somebody that has been hurt or a trust has been breached, rushing through it puts salt on the wound, because you're not giving them the time they need to breathe and to digest and to navigate it. So if they are feeling grief, if they are feeling anger, if they are feeling scared, if they are feeling whatever, fill in the blank, that needs to be acknowledged and that needs to be validated. So we are acknowledging the rupture, we are validating the impact. We are then, number 3, making a commitment that transparency moving forward is going to be the route that we're taking. So we're going to be open about what we're going to do to change. So I understand that I have hurt you, and here's how I'm going to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And then you can say a few things that you're going to do. So what that does is it shows your person that you're acknowledging that you hurt them, and that they have some action steps that they are going to take moving forward. Now understand, this doesn't necessarily happen like right after the breach. Like there might be some time spent between the breach and then this conversation. And why I like that is because the person who has made the breach needs time to come up with an action plan, come up with a game plan. This is what I feel terrible for what I did. I see that you're hurting. I see that you're angry. I see that you're grieving. And that is wrecking me. Here's what I'm going to do to make sure that that never happens again. So you are acknowledging what you did. You see that they're in pain. And then here are the steps moving forward. Like, that's an apology. I'm so sorry. And then you don't walk away and then do it again the next week. No, I see that you are hurting, and this is what I'm going to do to make sure that it doesn't happen again. You keep your word. Consistency, what we spoke about before. So transparency moving forward, consistent follow through. Keep your word. If you say you're going to be home at 7:05, you better be home at 7:05 or a little bit earlier. 7:10, 7:15, 8, 10 o'clock. You're just adding salt to the wounds, hot sauce on the wounds. Trust isn't rebuilt through grand gestures like buying something extravagant or taking them on a vacation or paying a bill, or it's not transactional. Trust is not built through transactions. It is not. It is not at all. It is built through repeated reliability. So be reliable. And understand that your partner needs, number 5, patience and space. Everybody, when they have been hurt, needs time to regulate emotionally. And they're on their own timeline. You're not on theirs. Marie, thank you so much for the heart me. And just communicate if you're gonna be running late. It happens. Oh, 100%. Life happens. So, like, we have these things called phones. It takes a mere 20 seconds to say, hey, honey, or hey, whomever, stuck in traffic, just stopping off the grocery store. I remembered that we need milk. I'll be a couple minutes late. Like, communicate. The one who broke the trust needs to show patience, not pressure. Patience, not pressure. Patience, not pressure. Because when somebody feels pressure, it's like a pressure cooker. They're going to, right? You do not need the heat on you in that moment. You're already heated because somebody broke your trust. T, thank you for the follow. And the very, very last one, of which also causes some issue when I'm speaking of conflict resolution, with couples, in that I think a lot of us were brought up in homes where if you did something bad, it's your job to fix it. Your job, only your job, and like the responsibility's on you. And if you can't do it on your own, sucks to be you. Here's the thing. Both partners need to participate in rebuilding trust. One through consistency, the other through vulnerability. We need to be vulnerable. We need to be consistent. We need to both show up for the relationship. If you want a good relationship, you have to show up. And when trust has been broken, that is a time when showing up really is exemplified. Like, you need to make a commitment that you are going to be hyper vigilant at showing up. Patricia, thank you for the follow. Thank you, everybody, for the taps too. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. 37.7 taps. I love it. Let's keep going. Sam, thank you for the heart me. Appreciate that. Both people have to make a commitment to make this work. Lenny, it says you followed me. How have you not been following me? I'm so lost. What the heck, Lenny? Hey, Holly, thank you for the heart me. How come you refollowed me, Lenny? Did you unfollow me? What the heck? Maggie, it says followed the live creator. What's happening? That's so bizarre. Linda, thank you for the follow. I'm wondering why all these people that are in my family are just now following me. How come, Maggie? Can you explain that to me? That's so bizarre. Anyway, unfollowed and followed back. Tricks of the oh, Lenny, look at you. Lenny. So weird, Stooks, right? But actually, Penelope did say that in one of hubby's lives. She had it. Oh, she had it. She said it differently though, because I don't think that we're allowed to say the unfollowe word on here, but I just did it like 14 times. Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Lenny. Okay. I often get questions about people who are just starting relationships, or who, it doesn't matter whether it is a romantic relationship or it is a friendship or a coworker. How do you build trust from the start? Maggie, thank you very much for the autumn leaves. If you're in a newer relationship or healing from past wounds, this totally relates to, you also need to be consistent with your communication, match your words with your actions. Here we go. Respect boundaries. Trust thrives in environments where the word no is honored. Say it again. Trust thrives in environments where no is honored, where no is accepted as a full sentence. And a lot of times, I think, again, a lot of us were brought up in families where boundaries were seen as mean and bad, and boundaries did negative things for the relationship. I am here to tell you that boundaries actually are very healthy in a relationship, and they sort of set the structure of a relationship up. I haven't been able to, in months, no changes in meds or anything. Why? Oh, why? Great question, Shade of Silver. That is something that I would totally love to dive in with you. Stress comes into play. Sleep comes into play. The food that you eat comes into play. Hormones come into play. Supplements, you said no changes in meds or anything. Those do come into play if those are in your mix. Your relationship climate comes into play. Your overall health comes into play. If you've been sick and your immune system has been out of whack for a bit, that comes into play. So many things come into play. And so because I don't know exactly what's happening in your life, would have a hard time pinpointing, but if you would like me to help you pinpoint, send me a DM and we can talk about it. What about the perpetrator needing their own timeout, emotional regular? Absolutely, Lenny, but understand that if you are the perpetrator, you need to get your stuff together quickly. And again, like, I'm not, and quickly, that's a relative term, right? That could be like a couple minutes or a couple days. Like, get your crap together. Because if you want this relationship to survive, you put a hole in the boat. Thank you for the heart me, Shade. So, yes, emotionally regulate, but understand that, like, you put the hole in the boat. So you're going to be needing to do a lot of repair work. So whatever emotional regulation, whatever that looks like for you, of course, you need to emotionally regulate too, because if you're going to go off on your person for getting so mad that you broke their trust and make it worse and react instead of respond, we don't want that. So take the time to get your nervous system in check and emotionally regulate for sure. But like, there's things that need to be done. The green always makes your eyes pop. Well, thank you, Auntie. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. It was so cool to be like, I'm always the odd one out, right? With the green eyes, because nobody has green eyes in my family. My son has green eyes, but I mean, growing up, nobody had green eyes in my family. And my mom was adopted, but my grandma, that my mom's adopted mom, had green eyes. And she was just so lovely. So I always said that I got them from her. But there's like biologically no reason for me to have green eyes. And then my daughter had blue eyes. My son had green eyes. My daughter married a man with green eyes, and now her 2 babies have green eyes. So I was on this trip with 3 green eyes and a blue eyed, which is not normal, right? You're usually not the majority, you're the minority. So it's just kind of cool. Thank you, A. Happy birthday to your son too. Hubby told me last night, I think it was your son's birthday, right? So please send a happy birthday. What does speaking of schmecks mean? It's a book that I wrote, Rye. And it is all about reigniting the spark in your relationship, spicing up your schmecks life, and creating long-lasting love. It's all about conflict resolution and asking for help, the types of intimacy, and working on each one for your relationship, how to increase schmectual satisfaction, what schmecks actually does for your body, biologically, physically, physiologically, all those things. So that's what that is. 8765309. That's funny. So that's what that is. Thank you, Polly. Well, I'm pretty sure you know what it is. It's SEX, but we're not allowed to say it on here, right? Or else we get taken down. So that's what that is. That's what that is. It's so hard at the end of the day. We're both exhausted, but so hard at the end of the day. So hard at the end of the day. We are both exhausted, but both feel something isn't right. So, Lacey, have you had a chat about that? Alice, thank you so much for the popular. DJ, how are you, Tony? I hope you're well. Thank you for the heart, me, Alice. I hope you are well today. Good. I'm glad you're great. My daughter's birthday. Aw, please give her a hug. Please, I hope that she had a great birthday. Okay, Lacey. Let's dig into it. Intimacy can be so many things. Like, there's financial intimacy, emotional intimacy, physical intimacy. Maggie, thank you for the colorful wings. Love those. Spiritual intimacy, recreational intimacy. And so when someone comes to me and they're having some relationship struggles, we focus on all those different types of intimacy, because when you look at the whole picture, thank you, Auntie, for the heart me. When you look at the whole picture, it can be extremely overwhelming. And so we take it little bit by little bit. and we address each one of those legs of the relationship stool, is what I call it. So then they can all be balanced and work well together, and so we don't tip over. Denise, thank you for the follow. Okay, we talked about respecting boundaries, and I said trust thrives in environments where no is honored. The next one is being emotionally attuned. Thank you, Marie. You're awesome. I appreciate that. Just talking for the... Gotcha, Lenny. And I think that when we do disappoint someone, when we do break somebody's trust, there is going to be a feeling of guilt. That's completely human. That's completely human, and we all screw up. We are not perfect people. There is no perfect person on this planet. We mess up every single solitary day, but it's taking the accountability of our actions and understanding that our actions impact people and validating their feelings about how they have been impacted and coming up with a plan so that that doesn't repeat itself, because we are very patterned people as humans. We do not want to be repeating a pattern that is going to cause deeper disconnect in our relationship. Thank you for the Go Populars, honey. I appreciate that. Being emotionally attuned. Thank you, Auntie, for the roses. Being emotionally attuned. Does anyone have any idea what that means? Attuned? Because I use it a lot in my coaching, but it's a word that does cause a little bit of confusion at first. Thank you, Maggie, for the autumn leaves. Lacey, no. Okay, when you're attuned with your partner, it builds like a lot of trust deposits. So your bank of trust that you're building, when you're attuned with your partner, is a lot easier to build. Thank you, Alice, for the rose. Does anyone know what attunement means? In sync. Love it. Tej, good night. Thank you for the autumn leaves, Tej. I hope that you have a wonderful evening. Thanks for coming in. And I hope I see you again soon. Recognizing partner's emotions, 100%, that's part of it. Recognizing and responding to emotions, for sure, that's a huge part of it. It's just it's sort of like being in a state of harmony with your partner. Marie, thank you for the little hearts. What are those called? The club cheers. Thank you for that. Looking out for each other's needs, 100%. It's coming to a sense of understanding. Hey, Beatty, how are you? So you are on the same page, to put it in simple terms. And small daily validations build huge deposits. So when you are attuned with your person, when you are in a state of understanding, which means we have validated their feeling about the trust being broken, and we understand where they're coming from, we understand their feelings, we are in a state of more harmony, and therefore trust is more readily built. Newfie 55, welcome in. I'm Canadian too. Thank you for the follow. I am very well, thank you for asking. Please reset my goal. Dang, thank you. Okay, let's do it. So, and then the last one on that one is just a little tidbit in the communication and conflict resolution department. When you have broken a trust, or when a trust has been like violated or broken in your relationship, don't wait too long. Don't wait too long. Conflict isn't what breaks the trust, avoidance does. So if you are feeling a certain way and you don't want to address it, and you're somebody that sweeps things under the rug, you're going to make it worse. So repair always works best when done in a timely fashion. So I would suggest that you would do that for Sure. Okay, not 42. That's ridiculous. Okay, let's do magic number 11. Let's do it. Okay. Why do you think trust is essential in a relationship for the foundation of emotional safety? Anyone have any idea? Like, we've talked about how great trust is and how to build it and what happens when it's broken. Why is trust the foundation of emotional safety? Does anyone have any idea? Thank you, Mama Cat, for the encore clap. So cute. Julie, it just feels so weird to be in like pants and a sweater. I think the last time I wore a sweater was like February, March maybe. I love sweater weather. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very nice and warm. Okay, why is trust the foundation of emotional safety? Anyone? 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 And here I'll go a step further. Emotional safety is actually the foundation for intimacy. So trust is the foundation for emotional safety. Emotional safety is the foundation for intimacy. So if you're finding that your schmeck's life sucks, go back to emotional safety. And if you don't have that, go back to trust. That's where we go. That's the base, the very, very start. So trust, emotional safety, and then intimacy. I need a third hand. Trust, emotional safety, and then intimacy. It is coming down. Crazy. We're in like some type of flood watch. So I might have to start building an ark. We aren't afraid to show our feelings if we know they will be accepted and respected. Julie, I love that because that is a definition of emotional safety. Because we all have feelings. They're messages that our body is trying to tell us something. Chips, how are you? Thank you, Lacey. And all too often when feelings come up, I've talked about this too, like feelings aren't facts. Feelings are just messages that are bubbling up in our bodies, and those are coming from past experiences, how we grew up, maybe how we're physically feeling. Maybe we're not feeling too great. Maybe we didn't sleep well. Maybe we didn't eat well. Maybe we're on our period or going through perimenopause or postpartum or menopause or whatever it may be. Nothing like a desert storm for sure. It's crazy. Thank you, Lisa. Free people. I'm good, thanks. I watch you sometimes. I love what you talk about. Oh, thank you, Chips. I really appreciate that. Follow along, and we are happy to have you in the family. My parents live in Tucson. Oh, that's cool. My son went to school there. Can you really hear it? It's loud. I think hubby has the screen door open too, so it is pretty loud. I'm glad it's not thundering though, because the puppies definitely don't like that. Lisa, thank you for the follow. Okay, so let's talk about why trust is essential. Trust is essential because vulnerability is hard. I can shut the door if it's too loud. Do you want me to shut the door? Or do you mind? Because if it's annoying, I can definitely change that. Vulnerability feels dangerous. No, it's nice? Okay. Thank you. Vulnerability feels dangerous to those of us that have had negative experiences being vulnerable in the past. So trust is essential because it builds that emotional safety, so then we can feel okay and give us ourselves permission to be vulnerable. Why else is trust essential? Because if you don't have trust, guess what happens to schmexual desire? Plummets. So there's another thing about when someone comes to me with issues regarding their libido. Trust is one thing that we discuss. I love the sound of rain too, Julie. It's very calming. It's very calming. So schmexual desire decreases when trust has been breached or when trust has not yet been built to a place where we can feel emotional safety. What else happens when trust is not in a place that feels harmonious? Communication becomes defensive. So when our trust has been broken, what do? We don't go to hug, we go to pull our weapons from our relationship toolbox. And those defense mechanisms are things like defensiveness, contempt. I was going to say ghosting, but gaslighting is the G word that I was talking about, although ghosting is a defense mechanism. Criticism, which are the four horsemen, right? So all of those things, defensiveness, gaslighting, criticism, and contempt. Those come up very, very, very easy when trust has not been established, because we are in protective mode. We are, as humans, built to survive, and we are built to look for any type of danger. Every 3 seconds, our brain is scanning for negativity and for any type of danger. Kim, thank you for the heart me. Plenty of vulnerable feelings here, especially when growing up under a narcissist parent. Oh, for sure, Lenny. That is a hard place to be when you are a kiddo of a narcissist parent. I'm so sorry that you had to endure that. Not fun at all. But you survived, and now you're getting help for it, which is a remarkable gift that you're giving yourself. And I love that for you. Do you agree that when someone cheats, it is due to them missing something like physical or emotional? Cheating happens for a ton of different reasons. Cheating usually has nothing to do with schmex. It usually has to do with, there's a lot of different reasons, so I don't know specifics of what situation you're referring to. Something is going on in the person that they are struggling with, that they need an exterior outlet to do whatever they need to do. It's not necessarily something, and people, thank you very much, Maggie, for the encore claps. And Chips, thank you for the rose. That's the go-to, that's society's belief that cheating happens because something is missing. Thank you for the heart me, Kim, if I did not say that. I appreciate that. Here's the thing. If your relationship is what you make it. Sue, thank you for the heart me. A relationship is what you make it. So if you feel like something is awry or something that is not there, that's not right, like, you're not going to find it outside the walls of your relationship. You are going to find it within the relationship, because that's what two people do. That's how a relationship is it grows, and that's how a relationship like excels in the intimacy department, in the emotional safety department, in the satisfactory schmex department. So I think that we use that as an excuse. Something was missing in my relationship, so I had to find it elsewhere. No, it's not the relationship that you're having an issue with. It's something within. So it's time to look in the mirror and figure out what it is that you're struggling with, and reach out for help to somebody professionally if you need that help. But if you're not communicating with your partner that something feels a little bit off and that you need help, or expressing our needs is the ticket to a thriving and incredible relationship. I think that conflict arises when needs are not met. And needs are not met. Chris, thank you for the heart me, and Sue, thank you for the populars. Needs are not met because we do not communicate them. We leave our partner to assume, and assumptions get us nowhere very quickly. I only ask as my mate's Mrs. cheated. My mate's Mrs. cheated. She says, shoot, where'd that go? She says he is only physically and not emotionally. Emotionally, I'm missing a word. Maggie, thank you for the populars. Appreciate that. Ellis, thank you for the follow. I get that they say the grass is greener on the other side, but if you water your own, it'll be green as well. And Chips, that's basically what I'm saying in my own like relational language, in that where you put the attention, that is what's going to grow. Like I often equate a relationship like a garden. Like when you first get together, you plant a seed, and then you don't just walk away and hope that you come back in 2 months and that there's a plethora of vegetables and fruits there for you to like dive in and enjoy. No, you need sunshine, you need fertilizer, you need water, you need to weed it. You need to get out the things that are not serving your relationship and get rid of them. So it is essentially greener where you water it, because you're nurturing it in order for it to thrive. I had that, Lenny. It's hard. And again, I think you're doing the best possible thing that you can do for yourself. I think that's awesome. I feel like instead of cheating, try to resolve the problem. And if no success, break up, then move on. 100%, Julie. I agree with that. I agree with that. And I think that a lot of struggles happen in relationships because we were not given the skills that we need to navigate certain aspects of a relationship. And so that's why it's like there's people out there that are professionals that can very much assist you, and that are skilled in conflict resolution and effective communication, and helping with aspects of Schmeck's lives that aren't going as planned or as you like. Sue, thank you so much for the, what is that? An autumn love. How cute is that, Sue? Thank you. Megan, thank you for the follow. Okay, so we established that trust is the foundation for emotional safety. Emotional safety is the foundation for intimacy. We've talked about that vulnerability feels dangerous, and unless you have that trust, you don't feel okay to be vulnerable. And that desire diminishes. Communication becomes defensive, and the relationship actually shifts from connection to protection, which I love that. For one, it kind of rhymes, and for two, it's just easy to remember. When trust has been broken and you don't have that emotional safety, you go from that connected state to a protective state. Connection to protection. And when you are in that hypervigilant state of protection, it sucks. Because you're always looking for, you're programmed to look for the negative things. When you were connected, you were programmed to think of, oh, that was so nice of you to fill up my car with gas. Thank you so much for rubbing my shoulders. I appreciate it when you like that. When you're in that connected state, you're more apt to see the positive things that are happening. Sean, thank you for the follow. When you're in protection mode, you're searching for danger. He didn't pick up his freaking socks again, and the toilet seat peed all over it. Like it's so annoying, right? That's what we do as humans. And Morales, what advice would you give for ED? Do you have a couple hours? Because that is actually one of the things that I counsel on as a clinical schmexologist. So ED is a puzzle. ED is a puzzle just like libido. ED is a puzzle in that whatever you do to your body, whatever you put in your body impacts your sexual function. So I want to know what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you are SMOKINGing. I want to know about your exercise habits. I want to know about your lifestyle habits. I want to know about your relationship. I want to know about your prostate. I want to know about your hormones. I want to know about all of those things and more. And then I would give you specific advice as to what I think you need to do and what I think is the root of the issue. Because Band-Aids, such as the little blue pill, just a Band-Aid. We need to get to the root of the problem. When we get to the root of the problem, your ED issues will be resolved. Joanne, thank you for the follow. Hubby has high blood pressure, and since taking medication, things have changed. Okay, high blood pressure medications are what they do is they reduce blood flow, right? They slow down the pumping of the blood. Heart health is another issue of ED, and why? For that erectile tissue to be engorged with blood, of which we want it to be harder, stronger, longer, we are going to see that is impacted there. And Morales, if you send me a DM, I can send you a few things that I would like you to try. If that would be okay with you, because thank you, Brielle, for the heart me. Because there's certain things that I can and cannot say on here. And one of the things that I would like for you to try, I am not allowed to talk about on here. Okay, I'm here to help. And ED also comes with a whole gamut of emotional issues as well. Because when a member below the waist is not fully functioning, it's a massive impact on self-esteem, confidence, performance, anxiety, and that makes it worse. Because your most powerful schmex organ is your brain. And so when you're like, okay, my guy below the waist isn't working anymore, this is impacting my relationship, I suck, I'm not a man, blah, 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 blah. And that very powerful schmex organ is not going to be your full supporter, and therefore it's going to impact things down there as well. SSRIs have a massive negative impact on schmex. And so that is why if you are on an SSRI, you can actually go to your doc and say, this SSRI is causing me negative effects on my schmex life and my schmexual response. Can you please give me an alternative? And I don't like what it's doing to me in my schmex life. Do you ever talk with people? I do talk with people regarding one-on-one. That's what I do outside of my lives, and it is a paid thing. Yeah, I am a clinical sexologist, so that is my career. Devin, thank you for the follow. Only because it's hard to find someone that you can gel with. Oh, I 100% get it, Chips. I think there's so many health professionals out there, but finding one that sort of gets you is challenging. And I think a lot of people give up in that pursuit, and then they suffer relationally, health-wise as well. Yes, so I do counsel outside on one-on-ones for sure. That's doing this TikTok live thing is newer to me, but I've been doing online coaching for quite a few years. I'm in Australia. Oh, Chips. My daughter's name's Sydney because I love Australia, and I know that sounds super cheesy, but I was there for a month after I graduated from high school, and it was the most beautiful place I've ever been. I loved it so much. I liked the canes at the very, very top. I would go back there. I loved that. I did like Sydney and Brisbane too, but I was mostly on the East Coast. My son had to stop certain SRIs because of that side effect, awkward convo, but he's pretty open with me. That's good, Julie. And if you ever have questions or you need some assistance with that or whatever, I'm here to help you too. And I'm so glad that you have that type of relationship with him, because that makes it a heck of a lot easier. Because as you know, as a male in general, it is a horrible side effect when you're already feeling like SSRIs are commonly used for depression, anxiety, a lot of mental health issues, and they are so helpful in that realm. But when it comes to your sexual health, they're not the greatest. So it's like, okay, I'm loving what it's doing for my mental health, but at the same time, it's destroying another part of my mental health because it's impacting my sex life so much, and I'm not feeling good about it at all. So I love that you have that. Chips, you can DM me for sure if you'd like to set something up. I'm more than happy to do that. How are you, Lily? Yeah, we have a family member in here, Lenny, who is also from Australia. That's awesome. Brandy, thank you for the follow. That's gold. If you get a chance, look at Victoria and the Great Ocean Road Trip. Amazing. It's so stunning over there. And they love Canadians, or they did when I was there. I don't know about now, but something cool. My school has so many flyers around health. I love that. I love that they offer that, Lily. Marty, how are you, Marty? Okay, so when you have established that trust, it's a feeling of like, it's almost like a relaxation, like a freedom that you feel, that you can like really be yourself in this relationship that you are building or that you are trying to restore, or your relationship in general, right? You can share truth without fear of any retribution, any judgment, any accusations, any type of shame or guilt, because as you know, I have a saying, there is no room for shame and guilt in a relationship at all. So when you have trust, you can share whatever's on your mind without any type of fear, and that feels really good. When it comes to conflict, repairing conflict is so much easier and so much quicker when you are in a state of trust, and you can experience deeper schmexual and emotional intimacy too when it comes to having that sense of trust, which love that part of it. How do you maintain trust? Got into a huge fight with Holly. Well, Marty, I think that you know already how I'm feeling about the way she treats you, and so we've had a brief discussions about that before. I'm really liking the fact that you can actually state on here that you understand that it is disrespect, because it very much is. So, Marty, you deserve better. Zara, thank you for the heart me. Disrespect is a boundary that has been crossed, and you're teaching her that it's okay if you continue to continue the same pattern. Zara, thank you for the roses. This is a pattern that does not serve your relationship. Disrespect disintegrates trust, disintegrates emotional safety, disintegrates your relationship. Zara, thank you so much for the autumn love and the you're awesome. Please tap, 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 tap. Let's see if we can get to 75,000. Can we? Let's do that. Everybody get tapping. Marty, you deserve to be treated with love and respect. And if she doesn't have the capacity to do that right now, thank you for the heart puff, Zar. Thank you for the love you so much. And for the autumn love again. I appreciate that. Holly is well, Lily, I think you have to understand the relationship a little bit better. It's I understand the relationship of Holly and Marty, and it's not at that point, Lily. Thank you, Zar. I appreciate all the love that you're sending. I very, very much appreciate it. Thank you for the rose. Thank you for the love you so much. Thank you for the autumn love. Thank you for the lightning bolt. Ziomara, thank you for the likes. Maggie, thank you for the encore clap. Look at that little purple bird. Love it. I need to be loved and wanted. Yes, you do. And we all deserve that. And I think that, Marty, from what I know about you, Marty, how about you DM me, and you and I can have this conversation outside, because I don't want to air any of your business that you've sent me through DM, because that's not what I do. So if you want to DM me, we can continue this chat there, because I think this needs a little bit more. It needs a little more than what I can offer you here, because I have to be very careful what I say here. Alice, thank you very much for the title, being the title gifter of the rose. Look at Rose Alice being the title gifter of the rose. Thank you for the roses, Alice. I appreciate you. Yeah, Marty, I got you. Okay, So what I like to say about trust, maintaining it obviously is something that I encourage you to do because of that emotional safety and that increased intimacy. It's a living practice. It's a day-to-day thing. It's a choice that you make. When husband does something hurtful, I shut down. I have to remember talking it out as a resolution. Julie, I feel you, because that's what I do. Because I want to protect myself, right? And I love the fact that you have the awareness to remind yourself, because our brain is so powerful, and it either can be our biggest friend or our biggest foe, because it can tell us, walk away, you don't need that, blah, 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 blah. And it can talk you out of a conversation, and you can silent treatment the snarf out of the situation, of which doesn't help either. So you have the awareness that talking it out is resolution, and I love that you can use those words in your mind, or you can listen to those words that are speaking in your mind, as opposed to the ones that are trying to protect you, which I love, because we all screw up, we all say things that we don't mean to. Calypso, thank you so much for the heart me. Like, nobody's perfect. Not condoning saying hurtful things at all, I'm not. But when somebody does, resolving them in an effective manner, which is head on. Hey, you know what, honey? This is what I just heard you say to me. Is this what you meant? And sometimes when we replay what they said, and they're like, holy crap, I can't believe I just said that to her. That's terrible. And they're going to be like, you know what? I did say that, and I am so sorry. I did not mean that. And I don't want to hurt you, and I'm so sorry that my words hurt you. And I will be working hard not to do that again. My 12-hour shift is almost over. I'll message you when I get home, about a half an hour. Awesome, Marty. Yeah. I like that little summary, kind of like clarifying kind of bit, because it's like, you didn't just say that to me, did you? Like, that's what I'm thinking in my little spicy mind, but like saying it in a way, hold on a minute. Like, this is what I just heard you say to me. Is this what you meant? And sometimes that can be a way to have them take it back. I know that you can't take words back, but rephrase it or say it in a way that they're like, ooh, I better clean up my act, because that was not acceptable behavior. That was super disrespectful and hurtful, and I shouldn't have said that. Marie, thank you for liking the lives. So this living practice of maintaining trust is not a one-time achievement. It's a decision that we make every single solitary day. And when trust has been breached, it is a hyper-vigilant living practice, meaning you need to make sure that you are keeping promises, even small ones, sharing your inner world. Don't make your partner guess. If you have a need, express it, or else it more than likely will not be met. And that's both sides. Own your mistakes early and repair quickly. Continue checking in emotionally. And when I say that, this is a good one for I might not have mentioned this last night to who I'm talking to. I'm hoping. Thank you for the Tom's hug, Maggie. I appreciate that. Love that little guy. Here's the thing. A really good question that the person that has breached trust can ask, if you feel comfortable, is, are you feeling safe with me right now? And again, the word safe is kind of a trigger to some people, because they're like, what are you talking about? Like, I would never physically hurt you. No, I am talking about emotionally. How if you don't even like the word safe, you could take that out, because I know, not to throw my guys under the bus, but a lot of guys are bothered by that word because they think that safety means physical, and it does not in this aspect. It is, how are you feeling with me right now? Guessing is why the silent treatment never works. Silent treatment never works. And when it's done intentionally, it actually can be abusive. It doesn't matter, Marty. Depending on what the question is, I might answer it later, but you can always ask me something. Hit the like. And another one, I know some people don't really understand sometimes what empathy really means, but practicing empathy daily is something that is crucial when you are trying to rebuild trust. And I think that word gets like tossed around a lot. But really trying to understand and put yourself in the shoes of the person that you broke the trust of is underrated. And I think that if more people did that, it would be a heck of a lot better. Empathy is not the same as sympathy. I want to reiterate that. Empathy means experiencing someone else's feelings. Sympathy is, how do I explain sympathy? I guess, you feel bad for. Practicing empathy on yourself is what I was meaning. I missed something, Marty. Lenny. Can a woman have 2-3 periods in 1 month and last? Yes. Periods can be very irregular. It can be a sign of perimenopause. It can be a sign of if she's pregnant and she's spotting. That can be a sign of that. But I would... Captain, thank you for the heart me. I would probably lean towards perimenopause. Stress very much makes periods irregular. Giving yourself the same empathy as you would give everyone else. 100%. I think that trying to come from a place of understanding of yourself is just as important as trying to understand your partner. How are you, Captain? Thank you for the rose, Peggy. So that is what I have to say about empathy. It is very much encouraged to be a daily practice. Again, trust is not built in the grand moments. It's built in the micro moments. Thank you, Mohammed, for the follow. When you show up, when you listen, when you repair, that is what builds trust. It's not about being perfect. It's about being accountable, consistent, and emotionally present, attuned. Peggy, thank you for the heart me. What you're talking about right now is our fight yesterday. About empathy. Love, thank you for the rose. Marie, thank you for is that the club cheers? Thank you, Marie. I appreciate that. So if you're trying to build a love that lasts, trust builds emotional safety. Emotional safety builds intimacy. Oh, it's about trust? Trust is a hard one, Marty. It's a hard one for a lot of people. And I hope that you could take something away from today and implement it in your relationship with Holly. Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate that. Not really sure what that was about. Does anyone have any questions about trust, maintaining trust? Some things that they could do to help in their situation? We've covered a lot. That was great. Ooh. I love that. I know that the message is not for me, Captain, but I love it. I am not a bug person at all. So if I had somebody on patrol that showed me where the bugs are, I'd be like over the moon. Good job, Shadow. Thank you for the follow. Use I statements, 100%. That's more in like conflict resolution and effective communication, Lily. Because we're talking about building trust here. So I'm like, I'll just reiterate the 5 things that I think are comprised in trust. Five things that trust is, in my opinion: reliability, honesty, transparency, consistency, and emotional safety. So if you are, those are the key elements of trust. If you are struggling in the trust department, work on those 5 things. What do you need help with, Mohammed? I'm learning how to make my female connections feel emotionally safe with me, but it doesn't come easy. It does not come easy, Lenny. And the fact that you were getting out of your comfort zone, Ziamara, thank you for the little encore clap. Love him. Shadow's great about it. Hats off to Shadow. Love that. I need me a shadow. It's not easy, Lenny, but you're doing it. And that's what matters. 1 foot in front of the other every day. You're going to get closer. Love it. Okay. If there are no questions, I am going to hop off. And I appreciate everybody spending the time with me. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate you joining the crew. I am here for any type of question with regards to human sexuality or relationships, whether that be conflict resolution, effective communication, ED, PE. Maggie, thank you for the I love you. I love you right back. Thank you, user, for the follow. If you are on your own tonight, please do something kind for yourself. If you are with somebody that you love, please do something kind for yourself and for them. I think that all too often we let little tiny opportunities that we might have or that we might create, and we let them go by, and it doesn't take a lot of effort to be kind to somebody. It doesn't take a lot of effort to show somebody that we love them or express to them that we love them. So I am encouraging you to do that today and every day. Can you please repeat what, Lenny? Lenny, I just said that I'm so very proud of you for doing what you need to do to reach your goal. And it is extremely hard to do what you're doing. And I just win Lenny in the chat. I think that getting out of your comfort zone where it feels safe is the best possible thing that you can do to achieve your goal. And I'm really proud of you. Good job. 1 foot in front of the other is going to get you to where you want to be. So that's what I said. Good night, everybody. I hope that you have a fantastic evening or a fantastic day if you are in another part of the world. Have a fantastic evening. D-Town! Love you, D-Town. It's been a while. I miss you. Thank you for the heart me. Cat Captain, thank you for the populars. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you for spending the night with me. And I will see you on Tuesday. And we will chat about something else regarding relationships or schmecks. So come on back. Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for my mods. And I know it's hard working here sometimes, so I appreciate it. Monitoring the chat. It takes some energy. I do understand that, and I appreciate you. So have a wonderful evening. Love you all. And I will see you on Tuesday. Or Lily, I'll see you Thursday. Take care. Good night.